Okay, so we're officially in Christmas season and I have a Christmas tree. Yeah, I know, I'm not gonna get out of the house with this, but it's still cute. Hello, beautiful bookworms! My name is Katarina and welcome to my channel. And today I am here to bring you my November wrap-up because we are already in December at the time of posting this video. And I only read 3 books in November, which it's very different from the stupidest huge amount of books that I have been reading, but yeah, I had a lot of things to do, so I couldn't read that much. But I read 3 books and they were biggie, so it's also a pretty good amount if you ask me, which you didn't, but you know, I want to give my opinion. So starting in the order in which I finished them, I first started and finished The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. So this is an amazing book, first of all. Second of all, I sort of almost got it, but then there was a thing that I didn't, which it kind of appears to be the thing with me and Riley Sager books, because I read Final Girls last month and I got a part of the plot twist, but then the other part completely went over my head and I couldn't get it. And with this one, it was sort of the same. I got a little part of the twist, but then the rest of the twist completely went over my head and died. And I was very amazed by Last Time I Lied. If you don't know, this is the story of this girl named Emma, and one day when she was very young, 13 I believe, she went to this summer camp with these girls, and by the end of summer camp they were all gone except for her. And now she's invited, 18 years later, or 20, or no, 15 years later, I remembered. She's invited to actually go to the camp again because the camp is reopening, since the person that is reopening it feels like it's been too long since the tragedy happened, and yeah. But Emma actually goes to the camp to try and figure out what exactly happened to her friends that went missing 15 years ago. And so you have double narration. You have the narration 50 years ago, 15 years ago, and you have the narration in the present. And it's very interesting because there's this part where you don't really know where the narration is taking place, which is the beginning and then one of the parts in the middle of the book, which was very interesting, and I wasn't expecting the narration to be taking place where it actually is, but I don't want to say anything else because it was really, really fun, and it was really, really creepy and cool to actually be reading this and trying to understand what was going on. And I commend Riley Sager. I really enjoy his thrillers, and I'm very excited to see if our top seller editor, which is a Portuguese editor, will actually edit Lock Every Door, which is his 3rd book and the only one that I have still left. I really like this, and if you like thrillers, maybe you should give Riley Sager a chance. And I'm not actually giving you any news because everyone except for me has already read this, and it's a pretty cool book. Now we have a humongous book, and this is not a thriller. Actually, I forgot to say, I was actually participating in the Evil-a-thon, and I'm going to leave link down below Kasha's channel. She was the person that actually created the Evil-a-thon, but I only read 1 book for the Evil-a-thon, which was The Last Time I Lied. So I completely fail at that, but if she does it again, I will be very, very happy to actually participate again because the prompts were really fun and I really wanted to read more spooky books. But I was doing a buddy read with Anna Francesca, whose link I'm also going to leave down below. If you haven't followed her already, you should, because she is a great, great person and I really love watching her videos and I love her voice and she's just so nice. And so, I don't know, I really like her. And I was buddy reading Youre Born with her by Claire Legrand, and she finished first because I had a lot of things to do and I couldn't read, and I was like, please, I'm sorry, I haven't finished it yet. But we both loved it. I am not really sure if she actually gave it a star rating. I know that we talked about me giving a star rating, and I said I don't really do star ratings because I really like to say what I enjoyed and what I didn't, and I really like you guys to actually try for yourselves. And when you rate something, you're just evaluating it. You're not actually seeing all of the qualities that are not counted in that rating. And I feel like 5 stars is a very, very small rating to give to a myriad of different books. So I didn't evaluate this, but Fury Born is the first in a trilogy, the first in the Imperium trilogy, and oh my god, do I want to read Kingsbane, which is the second one and is already out, and I haven't got because, why? I don't know, but I didn't bought that book. And now I don't have it. And now I want to know what happens. And I'm furious because I cannot read it. And I loved Fury Born. Like, sincerely, I read this slowly because I had a lot of lessons and I had a lot of works to do. But if it weren't for that, I swear to you, I would have read Fury Born so fast. Because every time that I actually had time to read it, I read more than 100 pages. So the problem was actually making time to read it. And Fury Born is basically the story about these 2 queens, a queen of blood and a queen of sun. And what happens is we have a world where angels are the humanity's enemy. And they have come once, and they were locked by the saints, which are elemental users. And there are 7 elements that people can use, but only through objects, and one only. And those people, the saints, actually trapped the angels. But there's this prophecy that the angels will come once again, and there will be the rise of 2 queens, one of blood, which will destroy the world, and one of sun. Sun? What? One of light. Yeah. The Sun Queen. Yeah. And that one will save the world. But these stories are 1,000 years apart. And supposedly, you're reading from both of these queens' perspectives, and you know that one of them is bad, and so the other one is supposed to be good. But it's not really that simple, because you're reading from the perspective of the one that should be bad, and you see nothing but a person that could be and is a good person and has motivations and does stuff for a reason, and you sympathize with her. And then you read things from the perspective of the person who is supposed to be a good person. And sometimes you can't empathize as much with her, although you do understand why she does some of the things she does. And that's so interesting, because what is good? What is evil? Where does one start and when does one finish, you know? And it's so very intertwined, and it's so cool because you're seeing one of them going into disgrace, and you're seeing one of them struggling with the fact that she can follow the footsteps of the bad one, or she can be different, and being different is very scary. And this is a lot of betrayal, a lot of enemies, a lot of mythology with the angels and the elements. Oh, and I forgot to say, these queens can wield the 7 elements without anything but their bare hands, which is terrifying for the people, of course, but it's awesome. I love elemental magic. I always have, always did. I actually wanted to write a book about elemental magic. We will see if that happens. So this for me was an orgasm. I absolutely loved Fury Born, and if I am not reading Kingsbane, not in December, of course, because I don't have it, but for the next year, if I'm not reading Kingsbane first thing in the year, then it's because I don't have money, because there is no other reason that will stop me from actually getting Kingsbane, and that's all that I have to say. And now we come to the last book that I've read this month of November, of course, not December. I'm still starting my reading for December. And the last book that I read, thank the Lords, was Wondersmith, The Calling of Morgan Crow. Sorry, this is in Portuguese, so I'm trying to translate it. And this is by Jessica Townsend and is a sequel to Nevermore, which everyone and their mothers know about. And I only read the sequel for the first time now, and oh boy, do I love this book. It's just the cutest thing I've ever read, and also very creepy and very dark. So, Wondersmith. Wondersmith is basically a direct continuation of Nevermore, so not to spoil you, I'm just going to tell you that this is about Morgan Crow. She is a person, and she has some sort of magic, but she has some problems, and she has some friends, and she has some enemies, and she has some frenemies, and I love it. It's magical. It's the only thing that if people tell me this is similar to Harry Potter, I have to say, well, it's nothing like Harry Potter, but you're right, the vibe is the same, and I love it pretty much almost just as much. Not quite the thing, but almost just as much. And it's just so good. For a middle grade, it has a lot of sarcasm and irony because our main character is very dark in a way, and so she uses a lot of dark humor. She's very ironical, she's very sarcastic, and I love it. And if I have kids, when I have kids, they're going to read this because it's awesome. And yeah, it also has a lot of creepy things that for a little child to read can be a little bit disturbing, but at the same time, I love how it wields magic and happiness and amazement with these tiny, dark, creepy things, because life is not always magic and roses. Life can always be a little bit dark, and you can lose yourself in an alley. Stuff happens. But yeah, I love this, and I don't want to say a lot about this because I really urge you guys, if you haven't read Nevermore or Wondersmith, to pick this up, because I've waited a lot to read this sequel, and I've read this in like sort of 2 days if we put the amount of hours together, because I couldn't spend 2 days reading this. But it's so fast to read, and it's almost 500 pages. Almost. It's 455. Blah, blah, blah. So it's very fast. I love it, and you should pick this up. So this was a great month because all of the 3 books that I read were amazing, and I love them. And you could say if I actually gave star ratings, they could potentially all be 5 stars or 4.5. I'm not sure, but again, I'm not rating them. So yeah, that's all for this video, and I'm very, very happy that I read so little things, but with so much meaning. I really enjoy this, and I hope that your November month was actually great, that you could read whatever you wanted, and let's hope that for December things work out as I want them to work out, because I'm participating in a readathon. Expect vlogs from me, I hope, if everything goes well. So that's going to be all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like it, leave a like or subscribe, and tell me down below if you've read any of these books. If you want to, you probably have, because I'm always late to the party, but if you haven't, tell me if you really want to and what you think of them. No spoilers for sequels or for other things. And that's going to be all for today. So happy readings to you all. Bye!